Welcome to Seen and Heard podcast, where everyone should be seen and heard. I'm your host Sharon, and co-host tonight is Chrissy from New York. Hello.
Hello, hello.
How are you feeling up there in New York?
I'm all right. Hanging in there. We ain't have been have we have not been having like a crazy winter, so no major complaints.
How about the weather right now? Is it cold or rainy?
Neither.
We're gonna get some. Well, it's chilly outside, but we're getting ready. We're gonna get some rain tonight. I just got an alert on my phone. But so tonight's show is gonna be funny and serious. We're gonna open up talking about the passport bros and them getting called out as usual, and just men in general. Like there's like an epidemic of men having, issues with women because they're not self-reflecting. There's an article that we're going to cover where a man in Singapore sues a woman for just wanting to be friends, not partners. He is suing her for 3 million in damages to cover financial losses as well as rehabilitation and therapy to overcome the trauma. Now, okay, we're going to get into this because I read this article a couple of days ago and I didn't believe it until I looked it up, but um Eric Stone is going to open up for us and let's take a listen to what he has to say.
Yet you've been told by society.
Just know, hey, just know, I tried my best with you colors. I got me a white girl.
I'm not even going to speak on the black man who totally disrespected black women just to uplift white women. Because I have no respect for men who totally disrespect a certain group of women and uplift another. I will, however, speak on the white woman and white women like her who allow, embrace, and encourage men to do this. Women are supposed to protect other women. Yet you've been told by society your entire fucking life that you are the beauty standard, the top of the food chain. By our movies, TV shows, billboards, magazines, even our fucking Barbie dolls. It took so fucking long just to get a damn black Barbie. So you allow men to speak like this and then you smile in the background like, yeah, you know he right. Which is why you get mad when I date outside my fucking race because you feel like I should be picking you over a black woman. And then you will claim that you're not fucking racist because you are dating or married to a black man. But just because you're affiliated with black people does not mean you are not racist. And then it's women like you, it's white women like you who are the reason why so many black men have been found dead. Why cities have been burnt down to the fucking ground. And yet you continue to allow the disrespect to go on towards black women. You are not a fucking ally. And you do not have my fucking respect. White women like you need to learn fucking better. And it's time you're held accountable for your fucking actions. It's fucking disgusting. It's disgraceful. And then yet you come to black women when you need to fight for abortion rights. Yet you're never there for them on any other voting circumstances. We see the fucking stats. White women like you are the fucking problem. And I and many others are fucking tired of it. The truth fucking hurts. My name's Eric Stone. Doses.
And he said it all. I mean, he said it and then some. It's embarrassing, actually, that there are groups of people in other races of people that are calling out black men. I mean, black women, of course, have been doing it. And we've been trying to stress the fact that we don't care. The problem is when you disrespect us to validate your relationship. We don't care that that you're dating out. Just leave us out of it and stop disrespecting us. But it's backfiring on them. What are your thoughts?
No, it is, and I mean, like he kind of mentioned on that they end up getting found dead and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not protesting. I'm not lighting nothing on fire for someone who didn't care about me or don't care about me. If we're that garbage to you, then what do you think your life is to us when it happens to you? You know what I mean? And it's sad that your family has to mourn, but we're not mourning with them. I'm not mourning at the loss of a black man to a white woman's hands when he downplayed us or just like just uh just the way they like just the way they talk about us, period, in general.
And it's unprovoked. It's like
Yeah, yeah,
we're
exactly. Yes,
minding our own
unprovoked.
business, and it's
Mm-hmm.
so unprovoked. It's like, well, where did this come from? Like we were just over here minding our own business, and they got like whole podcasts and videos, you know, libraries talking about us. Like we're minding our own business. What do we have to do with your relationship?
Yeah.
I don't get it because okay, so when I met Carrie, our and every relationship's different. But even when I first met him, of course, I didn't want to go out with him because I didn't think he was my type. I didn't first think he liked me, but then apparently he had been crushing me for years. So we finally went out, and I actually tried to talk him out of wanting to go out with me. I was like, I don't think you want to go out with me. I was just being honest. And he said, well, you let me be the judge of that, and he stayed with me for 20 years, and he was a good man. But in the 20 years we were together, he never bashed white women to
Mm-hmm.
justify being with me. And I never bashed black men to justify being with him because they weren't on our minds.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's like they were not on our minds. They had nothing to do with our relationship.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, I'm choosing you because all the black men suck and they garbage and I can't be with them, so yes, I'm gonna choose you. No, it is you like me, you approach me, you are a handsome man,
Right?
and we hit it off.
And it was
Just
on an
that simple.
individual basis because I mean I liked black men too.
That's what I'm saying. He was a handsome man and he pursued you and y'all hit it off.
Right.
It wasn't because, oh, I tried my men and they were all just garbage, so I just no, I went with no. Because if a black man would have approached you and he would have approached you at the same time, and then you started having feelings or getting to know both of them, and they both were cool, then you would have had to pick at that point. But he approached you, you didn't have no other interest at that point, and it just so happened to work out in your favor with him, a white man.
Yep. And he was a good man. And I'll tell you, it was a couple of black guys that I did go out with, and one of them was he wanted me to change. Like, okay, he liked me, and he asked me out. We only went out on a couple of dates, so like we didn't really date, but we went out on a couple of dates and we hung out, a lot. So, I mean, we weren't dating; we were just like hanging out, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to change me. Like everything about me, he wanted to change. I was like, "Well, what is it? Why did you want to go out with me? Why do you want to date me if you don't like anything about me? I don't understand that." So, of course, that didn't go anywhere. And then another guy I liked, he was actually a pre-med, and he where'd you go? There you are. Okay. So, yeah, this other guy, he was like he was a pre-med student, so I was like, "Oh,
Now, hold on,
my
you cut
dad
out
would
for
really like him."
it cut
Huh?
out for a sec. It cut out for a second
Oh,
when
okay.
you it says something about the connection. When you were saying you asked him, "What is it about you?" that part had cut out. So I
Yeah.
guess when you asking him what it was it about you that he liked, it cut out.
Okay,
So if
so
you, mhm,
yeah, I asked him. I said, "Well, you said you're interested and you wanted to go out with me and everything, and then like he wanted me to change everything about myself, like the way I dressed, everything. Like I was like, well, you approached me to go out with me because there was something about me that you liked, obviously, but then it seems that you don't like anything about me. Like, I guess it was a control thing, and he couldn't
mhm,
answer it. So of course, it didn't go anywhere. Then I had black guys tell me I didn't act black enough, whatever that means. I didn't know what that meant. They said that I didn't act like a regular black girl. I was, and I just never could understand that. So, but yeah, besides that, um, I just I never dissed my race to justify who I was with.
mhm,
I've never done that, so I don't understand that. I can't wrap my head around that.
exactly. Like nobody's faulting if you have a preference, whatever. So be it. Everybody has a preference, or the majority of people have a preference. Not a problem. But like you said, don't disparage and don't talk down on your own kind just to solidify your relationship with your preference.
And and it's not just the black community, although the black community is at the forefront because it's just inescapable that these black men are making such a spectacle of themselves and taking their dust on tour globally, calling themselves the passport bros, which they're only embarrassing themselves. They're not embarrassing black women. This is all going to backfire on them. But they're trying to
Mm-hmm.
make everybody else look down on black women, which everybody else is coming to black women's defense. They're like, you guys look stupid. And then they're going to go to these other countries, and these other countries are not going to put up with that, with them treating their women like that. No other group of men talks about I mean, they do in behind the scenes, I'm sure, but they don't make a spectacle of
Mm-hmm.
making podcasts and openly disparaging their own women. They don't do that. Other groups of men don't do that. I don't see Asian men doing that. I don't see Latino men doing that. I don't see white men doing that. They do it, yes, but not on the world stage. They're not doing that.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have a bad apple in every bunch. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So, like you said, it's not to say that they're not doing it, but it's not
A spectacle.
publicized.
They're not making a spectacle of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because no man I'm not praising one group of men over the other, except black men right now. That is the issue. Black men are the issue because they're making a global spectacle of themselves doing this and trying to disparage black women. So on to a man in Singapore that's having issues. Oh, God. These men, what is wrong with these men? Okay, if they're not shooting up something, they're trying to bring down their own women. Okay, here we're gonna look at this article here. A Singapore man sues woman for just wanting to be friends and not partners. Now you remember late last year, that article came out about lonely men, how there's like a epidemic of lonely men.
Mm,
It's all these men. What's wrong with them? So, okay, so this article. So, for what I picked up in this article, this dude even, which I find this egregious. The doctor that this dude forced that she did not like him, right? She went to a therapist with this guy, and she's basically doing this out of survival, trying not to, how if guys kill women, for turning them down and stuff like that. So I can understand kind of why she's trying to not be nice to him, but kind of be civil, because she went to the police and they wouldn't do anything. She filled out reports, she did all that. Well, he makes her go to a therapist. She had to pay for a therapist because he could not handle the fact that she didn't want to go out with him. She even had to come out of pocket paying for a therapist. Like, how ridiculous is this? Now, so now he's suing her for not wanting to be with him. Okay, let's see. He says a man in Singapore is seeking more than 3 million damages from a woman who said she saw him only as a friend, claiming she caused him trauma and damaged his stellar reputation. A defamation case being brought by Kay Kaushigan claims the damages are to cover loss in earnings and investments, as well as rehabilitation therapy programs to overcome the sustained trauma, according to court documents. The lawsuit, to be heard next week, accuses the woman of allegedly defamatory remarks and negligent conduct, according to the court papers. A second case filed by Kashigan at the magistrate's court, which claimed the woman breached an agreement to improve their relationship, was recently dismissed as manifestly groundless and without foundation, a verdict that was welcomed by gender equality activists. The woman first met Kashigan in 2016, according to court papers, and problems began to arise in 2020 when they became misaligned about how they saw their relationship. While the defendant only regarded the claimant as a friend, he considered her to be his closest friend. The defendant requested for their interactions to be reduced, the judgment said, which caused displeasure to the claimant, who felt this would constitute taking a step back in the relationship. The defendant emphasized the need for boundaries and urged him to self-reliant. So basically, she was there. She wasn't in. She did not consider her in a relationship with this man. The judgment said the woman participated in counseling for 18 months after Kashigan previously threatened legal action against her. He threatened her with legal action and forced her to go to therapy with him, alleging that he had suffered emotional trauma after being told she regarded him only as a friend. Okay, I gotta stop there because I mean I'll post the link for you guys to read the rest of the article. But I mean, okay, Chrissy, what are
Yeah,
your thoughts?
it's just stupid. It's ridiculous. It because I mean, if you want to play that game, let her flip the script now. Now you got news articles about me, and now I am in distress. I am in trauma over this being sued.
She's countersuing. She is, and for that exact reason, she's
Yeah, like
countersuing.
who sues somebody for being friends and only because she only want to be your friend? You're a psycho. You are a psycho and need to be checked into a mental hospital.
I mean, what? How is this not considered? Uh, it's almost like grape, actually, because he's forcing this woman to be a part of his life. Now, the worst part of it to me was the therapist going along with his shenanigans to force this woman to come into therapy. The therapist, they should lose their license. I mean, it's almost like
The,
grape.
the therapist can't force somebody to go in for
Yeah,
therapy.
yeah. Let me see. The therapist did they forced to see. Where is it? So she tried to get like a protection order and everything like that. The therapist, um, the therapist forced her to go into therapy. Yeah.
A therapist can't force you to do nothing. That's not making sense.
Well, if anything,
Unless it was court ordered, a therapist can't force you to do nothing.
I would counter.
You have to seek a therapist. So a therapist can't out the blue say, "Oh, you have to come to therapy because this weirdo who you're not even in a relationship with is saying that you're causing." No, a therapist can't do that.
Yeah, that's hold on. Yeah, the therapist did do that, and that's but it was confusing to me too. But I did read it. The therapist did force that lady to go in to, if anything
But
though,
she's stupid. She's
with,
stupid too. Ain't nobody
within that
forcing me to go to
counter
no mother freaking therapy because you
within that
want to be with me and I don't want to be
counter
with you.
suit, I would sue that doctor
No, I'm not
within the counter
suing.
suit.
I'm not suing. I'm not going. A therapist is not a court. So just because this random weirdo come to you and tell you, "Oh, doc, she don't want," and I did it, and the weirdo's crying
No,
to
no, it
you,
was
I
court
have
ordered.
I have no legal obligation to come to your therapy session. So I am not
No,
going.
it was court ordered. It was
No,
in the
that's what
court
I said. I
order.
said unless it's court ordered, there's a
Yeah.
difference.
But
You
see,
didn't
but the
say
thing
that,
about that
Chip.
though is the
You didn't
ladies
say that.
the lady specifically said she wanted nothing to do with this guy. That's her right. And this guy forced her into court and sued her to do all this stuff. Like it's like it's almost like a grape to me, regardless. That all of that's wrong all the way around. Her being forced by the court and that doctor going along with that, forcing this woman that said specifically, she stressed, I don't want to have anything to do with this man. Why should she not have that right? And they're forcing her to deal with this guy.
Well, then I'm suing
And
the
he's
whole.
obviously
I'm
dangerous.
suing the whole everybody. I'm suing the
Yeah.
man. I'm suing the therapist. I'm suing the court system. I'm about to be rich.
And he's obviously dangerous. That's dangerous. I'm like, who does that? Yeah, so yeah, I'll keep everybody updated on that. But I will post a link to that article so you guys can read that. Yeah, that was like I didn't believe it until I read it. And I read several articles. That was just one that I posted there. But I read like two or three articles, different articles about that subject. So I could get context because that was just unbelievable to me. I couldn't believe it. So now we're on to more pressing issues here in the states again. Um, Ron DeSantis and all of these right wing red state governors have got black Americans messed up. Because I'm glad I don't have my kids are adults and they're not in school, but I still have junior babies. And I'm concerned about them as well as other black kids in this country because they're going through enough trauma. I'm going to play Roland Martin. I'm giving you a shout out because your video was like the most informative video on this subject. Now, Roland, this video I'm about to play with Roland Martin, he's talking about Mississippi, but the same thing is going on in Florida with Ron DeSantis. So I'm going to play this, and then Chrissy will talk about this on the side. Thank you, Roland Martin, for the video.
Love to talk about local control, big government, except when they have power and they don't like it when black people have power. Yesterday, the Mississippi House of Representatives voted 76 to 38 to pass a bill creating a new court system within the Capitol Complex Improvement District and expanding the district. Now, where's the Capitol Complex located in Mississippi? In Jackson, Mississippi, a majority black city. So they want to create a separate court system and expand this police force in it. Now keep in mind, this same police force was involved in the shooting death of Jalen Lewis, who was killed by this force in October. His family still waiting for answers. We've had them on the show. So last night, Republican lawmakers, they passed this bill following hours of debate on the House floor. House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Trey Lamar, who's white, Republican, sponsored the bill. He says the new court system would help deal with the backlog of criminal cases. The bill would establish a separate court system with 2 judges appointed, not elected, but appointed by the Mississippi Supreme Court Chief Justice. Joining us now is Chokwe Lumumba. He is the mayor of Jackson, Mississippi, and State Representative Darrell Porter Jr. as well. All right, Mayor, let's start it with this. You posted a map on your Instagram page that shows clearly what's going on here. So in this map, the blue portion is where white folks live in Jackson, correct?
That is correct. That is correct.
So the blue portion is where this court system and the police force will be expanded, right?
That is also correct. Yes, sir.
So the issue here is not a concern about crime. The issue here is not a concern about crime in Jackson and a backlog of cases. No, what this is about is creating a separate legal system for the largely white residents of Jackson, Mississippi, and saying the hell with the green. That's where all the black folks are. So the blue are the white folks, the green are the black folks, right?
This is correct. This is correct.
So they want to create a separate legal system for white Jacksonians.
Yes, and not only what they hide behind, Jackson being the blackest city in the nation, having the highest black population by percentage in our country at this point. They hide behind the notion that within the district it is approximately 55% black. But what is true is that it is the most densely populated white portion of our city. It is where the majority of the white residents in the city live. And so, you know, it is also the area that has one of the lowest crime rates in the city. And so the notion that this is an effort of public safety, an effort to assist the efforts of keeping the city safe, it doesn't meet the smell test. Why would you create a district for the issue or for the concern of public safety in what is likely the safest part of the city, and also arm the district with control over civil cases and chancery court matters, which have nothing to do with crime whatsoever? In addition, providing this military force that has no accountability to the residents, and as you said, judges to oversee these cases that are not elected, not accountable to the people. And so it's colonization, it's plantation politics, it's racism. Let's call a spade a spade. Lastly, what I would say, my brother, is you know, speaking with you and a number of other outlets talking about the issues over control of our water system, the inequity of the requests that we have made. You know, I've received a lot of backlash from Republicans across this state saying that I've given Mississippi a black eye, that I've talked poorly about Mississippi. Well, in the words of former coach Dennis Green, they are who we thought they were. They have proven time and time again that this is who they are. And when my mother would tell me, when people show you who they are, believe them.
Representative Porter, see, here's what I find to be so interesting about this. So they say, oh, the backlog of cases. Show me the stats. How many? What's the backlog? Please, by all means, show me. So the mayor says this area has the lowest crime rate in the whole city. So now you want to create a whole separate system, and you want to create a separate civil system? How is that now an issue? No, this is about creating, this is going back to Jim Crow days, about creating white enclaves, being able to carve out a white enclave in Jackson, Mississippi, to say to the white residents, we got you. You don't have to worry about those Negroes. You don't have to go near them. We will take care of you in our own little area.
Right, Roland, and the mayor's right. You know, this is a power grab. This is a blatantly racist move by the Republican Party here. You know, again, if this bill was so much about crime, then why do you have court? Why do you have a separate court system that addresses civil matters? Why is the Chancery Court being involved in this bill? You know, I proposed an amendment yesterday, and let's talk about the taxation without representation part. These people are not allowed. The people of Hinds County are not allowed to vote for these judges, as you've already noted. They're being appointed by the Chief Justice. So let's talk about taxation without representation. How they're going to be taking 12% of the sales tax and putting it into this capital, the CCID, the Capital Complex. And I proposed an amendment yesterday to wipe that out and just have the state of Mississippi to front the bill, since the Republican Party is so interested in trying to protect Jackson and trying to cut down or curtail the crime of Jackson. Then the citizens of Jackson who don't get a voice in electing these prosecutors or these judges shouldn't be on the hook for paying for this Capitol complex.
We continue our conversation regarding the white Republican power grab in Jackson, Mississippi, with Mayor Chokwe Lumumba and State Representative Dara Porter. Mayor, who's paying for this? Who would fund these judges? Who would fund this police force?
It comes from a tax diversion of about 12% that the residents of Jackson will be forced to pay. So,
wait a minute. So to pay for this, state's not going to pay for it. They're going to take money from Jackson residents to pay for the district, but those same residents have no control over who the judges are and no control over the police department, which means that right now, the police department in Jackson reports to you and the city council, correct?
Correct.
So their tax money is being taken to fund something that they have no say-so about.
Absolutely. And I think it's noteworthy to mention that the Jackson Police Department has made several requests over time for funding to help their policing efforts. We've made requests of the state for money for alternative or violence interruption programming. So cure violence models and those things have been rejected. And so it's not as if the city of Jackson has not put forth what we believe to be the solutions to our challenges. What we've been met with is a deaf ear or an indifference, a deliberate indifference to all of the things that we ask for, whether we're talking about issues of public safety or whether we're talking about issues of infrastructure. And instead of actually assisting us in the way in which we need to be assisted, they look at how they seize power. I think it's worth noting that not only are we looking at 1020, which was the House bill that we're talking about now that talks about this Capitol complex. We also have 2889, which was a Senate bill looking to take over our water system, a water system that you have well documented on your show, that we've been fighting for resources. The state has denied us year after year, after generation, actually. And the moment we get $800 million from the federal government, all of a sudden it becomes attractive. All of a sudden it becomes something that they want to seize. Before that, we fought off the threat of a state takeover of our school system, a school system which has a budget similar to the city's budget, in which, it becomes attractive to them to give contracts for who cuts the grass in our schools. We are simultaneously fighting a battle over our airport that the city of Jackson invested in and the state of Mississippi wants to control. And so this is not something new. This is who they are. Like I said, they are who we thought they were. And so, I am as diplomatic as my options are. I come to the table prepared to have diplomatic discussions, but you can't come in my house and then start negotiating over my furniture. And so we want to make certain that it is clear that this is round one of a 12-round fight. And we're not going to lay down by any stretch as it pertains to this fight and the other ones that I mentioned.
Representative Porter, the thing here that I think people really, really, really need to understand when we talk about this here. Jackson, Mississippi is the largest city in the state. Jackson, Mississippi supplies more sales tax revenue anybody else have is you have these white Republican lawmakers who don't like the fact that you got this majority black city, dominant city in the state of Mississippi, and they are trying to figure out how can we take as much and money away from African Americans in Jackson and that we as white Republicans can control.
And I would agree with you, Roland. And I think one of the representatives on the floor yesterday noted that ever since the first election of the first black mayor of the city of Jackson, they've been requesting funding. They've noticed the problems. They've brought the problems to the table, asked for funding to help curtail those problems, and every mayor since then has been denied funding to help curtail those issues. And as the mayor already pointed to now, as soon as they get some money from the federal government, well, here comes the state that wants to come in.
Wait a minute, hold up, Representative. Let's not speed over that. Money that the black folks in Jackson went to the Democratic administration in the White House, went to the black head of the EPA and made the case to get. Governor Tate Reeves did not make the request. The white lawmakers did not. It was the black mayor, Chuck Lumumba, and the black Congressman Benny Thompson, and there's so many other African Americans who made the request. And now the white Republicans in Mississippi want to say, oh, no. We now want the money that y'all black folks went and got.
You are exactly right. Now, if that is not a blatant display of disrespect and a power grab, I don't know what is.
See, Mayor, you're right. We can be diplomatic and we can try to be nice about it. But what this is fundamentally clear. This is white Republican racism, and they do not like the fact that you've got black folks who are Democrat, and they want to subjugate y'all to the control of the state using their power, and they want to sit here, create this white enclave, take resources from black people. And look, I've been getting tweets and emails from people saying the same white Republicans have been denying funding requests for Jackson State for various needs, but handing that money out to the white universities in Mississippi.
Absolutely. To take it further, not only have they been neglecting the needs of a city like Jackson and like I said, a willful disregard for our interests. What upset them the most when we saw this torrent of bills that we're now looking at, which are all in an effort to take over, to be a power grab of the city of Jackson, that came following the $800 million. They were perfectly fine with the city of Jackson being suffocated, perfectly fine with denying request after request of the city of Jackson to be met with resources to deal and contend with our issues. When we were able, with agreement with the federal government, in order to have money directly allocated to the city of Jackson for these things that we've been asking the state for decades, that upset them. And that is where there's a bill introduced each and every day that attacks Jackson. Each and every day, I can go through the issues of what they're trying to do, which are a direct reflection of an effort to take a shot at Jackson. And that's only because we were able to secure the resources. I did not have Tate Reeves with me when I went to Washington and met with Senate Appropriations staff. Delbert Hosemann, our lieutenant governor, I want to make sure that he gets a part of this, wasn't there. In fact, when I met with him about our needs, met with him about the concerns, he was trying to convince me of a state takeover. And what he said to me, he said, "What do you think? You think President Biden is going to write you a check?" I do, and he did. And now that is what has upset them, is because we have been self-determined enough in order to shake the trees, in order to make certain that we looked under every rock in order to get the resources our Jackson residents so justly deserve. And that is what has angered them more than anything so far.
What?
So, Roland Martin, Black Star Network listeners, no matter what anybody thinks of Roland Martin, he is building a black media network. He is my well, I look up to Roland because I'm trying to build like a black or POC centered media company as well. So follow him. But my thing on that is, besides what those black politicians are doing, what are the people doing to push back on this egregious behavior? Because like that happened here in Tennessee. There's Republican, Tennessee, this is Mason, Tennessee. They're supposed to be getting a Ford plant, which would mean like jobs and billions of dollars coming in, and it's a majority black town, little town in Tennessee. Well, just like that politician was saying, the red Republicans were okay with them going without and not having resources, no jobs, nothing. But as soon as Ford said that they wanted to invest and build a factory and bring in billions of dollars, they're trying to take a hostile takeover of this town in Tennessee. Ron DeSantis has is put like all white legislators and judges in Florida. So he's basically done a hostile takeover in Florida, and then he's telling black residents that they don't matter, their history doesn't matter, their black kids don't matter, and they are not going to learn anything about black people in their education system. So my thing is, what are black people going to do to rise up against this? I mean, this is ridiculous. What do you think, Chrissy?
Honestly, I don't think black people are gonna do anything. We sit there and we complain, but nobody does anything to correct that. Take all the kids out of the schools.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, find somebody to homeschool your kids. If you and your husband or you and your partner both go into work, then you may have to. I mean, you may have to bite the bullet and one take off FMLA something. But pull your kids out of school, because then what's going to happen? Now the school can't get funding like it usually gets because it doesn't have the kids that they usually going to have. They're going to have to let go of teachers for that same reason. If they don't have kids at school, they can't have all them teachers. You know, that's the only way to hurt them is you pull out of everything
Mm-hmm.
and see what they'll do then.
And even more so, these star football players. I mean, that's probably going to be wishful thinking because of all of the perks that they get. But if black athletes refuse to play in those colleges, that would put that to a screeching halt.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, but nothing's going to happen. You asked me what I think is going to happen. I said nothing. What needs to happen and what's going to happen is two different things.
Okay, we're going to put it to the viewers and the people listening. That's a call to action. I mean, proves wrong because I, from what Chrissy's saying, I totally agree. And that's what aggravates me too is that I'm looking for like a swell of movement and pushback against this nonsense. The Congressional Black Caucus, Kamala Harris, where are you on this matter? You know what I'm saying? Like somebody. So that's going to be our call to action. We're going to close out on this because we're going to keep talking about this. And again, follow Roland Martin, Black Star Network, support Black media. Um, if you would like to support our show, here is buy me a coffee, and I think I got a there. We got Cash App too. We got Cash App here and a buy me a coffee. We would appreciate your support. And let me pull this up. I've been playing with these little AI things. Uh,
Mhm.
found this AI site. I want to play this little video here. Let's see.
While you look for that video, what I would say is something that I saw that a friend posted also,
Mhm.
which just fits overall.
Mhm.
It says, until Black America puts Black America first, Black America will always be last.
Yep. Yeah, because other communities, I mean, the Latino community, even though they don't like each other inside the community, they still stick together. Same with the Asian community. I've been seeing them. It's like they're fighting. They got their inner workings, and fights and stuff going on too. But when it comes down to it,
But
they're
look at
sticking together.
Look at the Jewish community.
Jewish community.
Look
Yep.
at the way they cancel culture people who,
Mhm.
one, something might not, they might not even be anti-Semitic or say anything directly. Like, to me personally, with Kyrie Irving, he didn't say nothing directly. He posted a link to
Right.
something
Yep.
and whatever, and the whole, you know, even a community that is mixed, not just racial, the LGBTQ. Look how they, when they stand up for themselves.
Yep.
So
Yep.
until the Black America stand up for Black America and put us first, we will be last.
But you know what? With and this goes back to like the passport bros and how these colorist black men have been acting too. You can look at that and actually say that that is a ploy to keep the black community separated because you see all these athletes and they all say like when you get your contract for like the NBA or the NFL, they're like one of the perks of becoming a $1 million athlete is to have a white woman on your arm. Then you've made it. Like I've seen so many videos of these black athletes saying, "Oh, I've made it. I've made it. So I've got me a white woman." And then when they do that, they get the nothing. Like I said, I'm not saying anything against interracial relationships or anything like that. But once they do that, those millions of dollars don't go back into the black community. They stay in the
Mm-hmm.
white community.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how white supremacy is sneaky in a sense because all those white owners of teams of the teams, they know that these black players, athletes are going to not they're going to keep their mouth shut and not rock the boat because they're getting a check and they got a white woman on their arm. And that's just the fact. That's just the truth.
Yep.
Whether anybody calls me a hater or not, I'm not a hater. I observe. I observe very closely. Speaking of which, wait, hold on a second. I almost forgot about this one. And this will be another this will be on another another podcast. But yeah, while we going out, let me play this little video here. This is another one.
The way you feel. One kiss is all it takes. Falling in love with me. The way you feel.
Now, how you gonna say that on Black History Month? Like seriously, come on. He just like he could wait until March to say some stupid stuff like that. I mean, if it were that easy, really. He's a prime example of one of those they get to a certain he's married to a black woman, but still he's got that mentality. You know what I'm saying? It's like and during Black History Month, really.
Welcome to City Scene Productions slash media company and Seen and Heard podcast. Our focus and goal is to build a media platform and entertainment company that represents marginalized and underrepresented communities by giving them a voice and a place to share their stories from their own unique perspectives. Our podcast is just one way we strive to reach this goal, and we're grateful for any and all contributions that help us keep going. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, feedback, or would like to be a guest on the show. Thank you for your support.
Chrissy, what would you like to
Mhm.
say to Idris Elba?
I didn't quite see that whole thing, so I don't know what was said or done, so
Okay, so
I can't
basically,
comment it.
okay, look, okay, I'll save it. Well, no, I can't leave us hanging like this. So basically, Mr. Elba, hold on, let me pull up the page. Okay, so Idris Elba says during Black History Month, he says he no longer refers to himself as a black actor. I don't want to be the first black. I'm just Idris. Okay. So that's why I made the post that I made on Friday about that. And I said, um, someone should remind Idris Elba that the I'm not black defense didn't work out so well for OJ or Kanye. The white establishment reminded them that they are indeed black. It's something in the water.
I mean, I'm looking it up too.
It's something in the
I
water.
no, I get what he may have tried to say,
Mhm. But
but it's just how it came out, and that's why people had to make him clarify it. But I mean, we would all like to live in a world where we're just man, we're just woman. It don't have
right,
to be black man, black woman, Asian, like
exactly.
nobody wants a title.
But guess
But
who made the
unfortunately,
rules?
but
Guess who made the
unfortunately,
rules?
I don't care who made the rules. The rules just ain't changed yet. And nobody ain't break the rule. Nobody ain't changed. And you trying to say this is not going to break the rules because we're not there yet as a whole.
Right.
The whole is not there, So, I mean,
But
yes, you're an
happy
actor, but
but happy Black
unfortunately,
History Month anyway.
you're, I mean, unfortunately, you are a black actor. And at this point in time, it will always be a black actor, white actor, Asian actor, Spanish actor, until we as a whole, as a man, woman, human being, realize that color don't matter and race don't matter. But it's not there yet, and it will never be there because there's always going to be the one, the two, the few that want to be or want to uphold that white supremacy. Just simple as that.
Well, I'm doing my part to disrupt because I told you what I do on my forums. I
Hmm.
claim all of my ancestry depending on what mood I'm in.
Yeah,
Whatever mood I'm in, I click check my ancestry since I gotta be put in a box.
yeah.
It depends on what box I'm gonna check on my mood, depending on my mood. Okay, Chrissy. Thank you everybody for listening, and we will see you on the next show. Bye.
Bye.
We'd like to hear from you. If you'd like to leave feedback, a comment, or ask a question, leave us a voicemail at 615-447-8290. Thank you.